what we've seen in 3 of these 4 straight victories out of the All-Star break, they cannot play great and win sometimes. It's actually almost, I don't want to say exciting that they haven't played their best for the most part, because like you want to see them play their best. But the fact that they cannot and still come away with wins, and against some pretty good teams like Florida and Winnipeg thrown in there, that's a pretty damn good sign for people who are maybe looking forward to a playoff run, is it not?
I would say so. I think the big thing here, and this is something that John Tortorella has emphasized really all season, is that if this team is going to make progress, they're going to make progress by learning how to win games they probably shouldn't have won, because you're not going to have your A game every night. And we saw it in the first half of the year. I talked about it in my column at allphly.com about how this was a team that could go in and beat Vegas and beat Winnipeg and beat these really good teams. And then they could also lose to a winless Sharks team if they just didn't have it. Well, what we saw, in my mind last night, Tortorella actually argued that the Flyers didn't play all that bad last night. I didn't think they played very well at all. And to me, that's a game where in the first half, they are down 3-0, 4-0 at the end of 2 periods. It's over. There's no chance. Instead, in this game, they find ways to get a few goals. They keep it close. And then essentially what happens is, nice, love that.
Got a little caffeine delivered right to the desk.
But what happens is they go into the second intermission, and John Tortorella, to his credit, I think he deserves credit here for having his finger on the pulse of his team, goes into that room and says, I think we're going to win this game. And for whatever reason, it just seemed like it sparked these guys, and they just probably looked at each other and they're like, yeah, why can't we win this game? We're only 1 goal down. It's not like Arizona is playing that good. They're not that great of a team. We can go out and win this game. And then they dominate the third period and win the game. It just shows, number one, that this team, it's that classic Matrix clip where like they're starting to believe. I think this team is starting to believe. And then number 2, they're getting some contributions from guys further down the lineup. Like somebody like Scott Laughton is starting to play like Scott Laughton again. Jamie Drysdale seems like he's starting to pick up the nuances of what they do. Morgan Frost has been playing well for the better part of a month. I thought he was great last night. Like once you get those guys, in addition to having guys like Konechny and Tippett and Couturier pretty much playing well every night, suddenly you can make up for not playing all that well as a group, because you have multiple guys who can step up and carry the load on a given night. I think that's what we saw last night.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I wanted to point out. Like we saw it. I saw it on social media last night. Then I read it in your column. The John Tortorella comment. Just, I have a good feeling about this one, boys. Not freaking out because they're losing to Arizona. Because no, I don't think they were bad. But it's like Arizona is not good, and we've seen you compete with the best teams in the league. So, like, I know that's not how, well, you beat me and I beat them, so that means I'm better than, like, that's not how sports work. It never is. But you just look at them and you're like, why are we losing to Arizona? What's going on? And to John Tortorella's credit, he's like, if we just play a good period, we're going to win this game because we're better than them. Like, and it's probably been a little adjustment for everyone to just be like, God damn it, we're better. Like, there are teams, while this team does lack that high-end talent that we've talked so much about, there are a considerable number of teams that they are just better than, whether it's on paper or by the way they play and, the results of the first 52 games or whatever it's been. The Flyers are better, and Arizona is one of those teams they're better than, and it just seemed like they needed that, God damn it, win a period, win a game. That's all they had to do, and they went out and did it. And, man, I'm just starting to really feel, I know my emotions change shift to shift with this team. It's really, I mean, if they give up one of those late chances to Arizona that Sam Ersson came up big on, I'm like, fuck this team. But they didn't. So I love them. And I'm just starting to feel like they are coming. It's Charlie starting to come together. Charlie, it's starting to come together. Like that's what we're looking at right now. And like, the sum is better than the parts and all that stuff, but you have to be a little excited for what's going to be a good playoff race.
We all silly like the mayor.